Hello guys and girls, welcome to a new clip in the C# for Beginners playlist. Today we are going to talk about the first of the four big principles of object-oriented programming, encapsulation. And encapsulation is one of those words that sounds much more complicated than it actually is. To spare you some trouble, I'll say that it has everything to do with access modifiers, and I already did a clip about those in the past. We have private, public, protected, internal, private protected, and protected internal. So in very simple terms, encapsulation means that an object should keep control over its own data and its own rules. And the outside code should not know how the object works internally, and they should not be able to put this object in a nonsense state by changing things randomly. Instead, the object should expose a few meaningful operations and decide internally what to do when these operations are called. So to illustrate this, let's imagine that we are writing the code that controls a coffee machine, and we might have something like this. And as you can already see, this puts the object in an invalid state. Why? Because we are creating a coffee machine and the methods inside this class are all public, which means anyone can access and call them. But this means that I can pour into cups before I even pump the water, which is illogical. It's not possible. And this happens only because I have access to everything inside this class. What we should do instead is hide all these methods by using the private keyword and expose a single one that enforces the right predefined order of operations, something like this. And now, the first thing you'll notice is the two methods we were previously calling and which were putting the object in an invalid state are no longer accessible because they are private. But we use a public method that we can call, and this one enforces the predefined order of operations that is logical for creating a copy. So we have no say in what we are calling and in what order. So let's do that. And now, the outside world can only call this method, and this method internally tells the object what to call and in what order. So this is the practical value of encapsulation. We are not hiding things for the sake of hiding things or because we like hiding things. We are hiding them for two reasons. Either because the piece we are hiding shouldn't be accessible from the outside world. So for example, if we have a game, maybe the method startGame should be private. Why? Because maybe we have another method called checkLicense, which checks whether the license is valid, and if it is, only then it should internally call startGame. And the second reason should be not to flood the outside world with irrelevant stuff to them. If I type coffee machine dot and I get a list of 30 methods, I will lose a ton of time trying to understand what should I call and in what order. Instead, if I expose only how this object should be used, I can notice at a glance that, okay, this is everything that I can call on this object, and this is how this object is intended to be used. So to summarize, encapsulation is the idea that an object should manage its own internal state and expose a clean public interface that the rest of the program can use. Access modifiers, properties, and methods are the tools that we can use to do that in C#, but the concept itself is much bigger than just the syntax. The goal is to group related functionality and data together to avoid inconsistent or invalid states and to make the rest of the program depend on what an object does, not how it does it. In the next lesson, we will talk about the next pillar of object-oriented programming, inheritance, where we see how a class can build on top of another class and why most of the times you want to avoid that. I hope this made encapsulation feel a bit less abstract. If it did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for your time, and until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tech frame.